What's good, Commanders fans? So day 2 of the draft, rounds 2 and round 3 tonight. We do have picks 47 and pick 97 tonight. There's still a lot of good players available, so I want to talk about some targets. And I did do a mock draft myself. So the two guys that I picked, Steve Avila out of TCU at pick 47, who can play center, he can play guard, position flex, a lot of versatility. I think Ron Rivera loves that. So I got Steve Avila out of TCU. The second guy I got, pick 97, I got Zach Kuntz, the tight end out of Old Dominion. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those guys, but I do want to talk about who's available. And then just recapping last night, a couple national media people gave us grades. Pete Prisco gave the grade an A. He liked the pick of Emmanuel Forbes. I liked the pick. I didn't give it an A. I gave it a B plus. Because I do think he would have been there in the second round. You probably could have traded back. But at the same time, like Martin Mayhew said, nobody called to trade back. Did they pick up did Martin Mayhew make calls to trade back? I guess not, but it takes two to tango, and nobody looked to trade up for us to trade back. So it just wasn't available. Pro Football Network, they also gave the grade. They gave us a grade of A for Emmanuel Forbes. So, like I said, he's a good player, man. He's a ball hog. He takes the ball away. Ron Rivera talked about that a lot. You see Ron Rivera where he was driving in the car in the draft show or the draft reality show, whatever they were doing behind the scenes. And he said Emmanuel Forbes is a guy that we want. We want somebody that can take the ball away, a playmaker. And they got that in Emmanuel Forbes. Is he going to play slot? Is he going to play outside? Some people are saying Kendall Fuller's going to go back into slot. We'll see. He didn't have a lot of snaps in the slot, actually, but he can play slot. I feel like he can. Is he going to have to gain some weight? Probably like 20 pounds to get to 180 or maybe to 200. But the best part of his game is his speed and his instincts and how he can take the ball away. And he makes up for his size with his heart and his instinct and how he can take the ball away. And he still can be a physical player. He's a willing tackler, had 5 tackles for loss his sophomore season. So he's a willing tackler. He's not scared to go up there and be physical with guys. So NFC East corners, he's going to have his hands full for sure. I saw him play against Devontae Smith. He definitely had a battle with Devontae Smith at Alabama, but that was 2 years ago now. They definitely had a battle with Devontae Smith. Had some good plays on him. He did. So it is what it is on that. But I think it's a good pick. I think it's a guy that can certainly take the ball away. Speedy receiver, can play zone, can play man. And he does fit what they're looking to do in playing zone, playing as a zone corner. So you can argue if they should have got Christian Gonzalez all day, but I'm rocking with it. I get why, because we were the 5th worst team in interceptions last year. We just were. And I think he's a guy that can certainly do that and create turnovers. So, all right, let's go over the list of players available. Of course, Will Levis is still available. Hendon Hooker is still available. I would not pick Hendon Hooker. Or in the second round, you think about it. I would think about it, but I wouldn't do it. In a mock draft I just did, Will Levis went to the Lions at 34. Hendon Hooker went to the Raiders at 38. Now, realistic guys for us, Michael Mayer, man, he is still available. And that's the tough thing that I had in my mock draft. He was still available at pick 47. And I went with Steve Avila because we need a left guard. We need somebody at the left guard position. Andrew Wiley's going to be a right tackle. Right guard is most likely going to be Sam Cosmi. At center, Rouye or Nick Gates. But left guard is between Chris Paul and Sadiq Charles. I like those guys, but I think they're better suited as backups. And then our left tackle, most likely, is going to be Charles Leno. So, and then one thing about Chase Young and Montez Sweat, I don't see them getting traded today. If they do, I won't be surprised at the same time. But personally, I wouldn't trade those guys. I just wouldn't do it right now. I think Ron Rivera he's in a win or get fired kind of year, win or go home kind of year. And I think you need both those guys to step up and play well for this defense to be successful. Especially the best friend for Emmanuel Forbes is a pass rush. And if Montez Sweat and Chase Young can step up and get to the quarterback, that would make Kendall Fuller's life easier. Emmanuel Forbes and Ben St. Juste as well. So, all right, Michael Mayer, he's an intriguing prospect out of Notre Dame. He's still available. He's still on the board. Keely Ringo, corner. We already got a corner. Drew Sanders, the linebacker out of Arkansas. I don't see us getting a linebacker. He did play defensive end at Alabama. Then he transferred to Arkansas, played linebacker, had a really good year. Joe Tippmann, offensive center out of Wisconsin, somebody to consider as well. Luke Musgrave out of Oregon State. I like him. He's a big fella, got big hands. He's got big hands. Solid after the catch too. Not as good as Zach Kuntz after the catch though. That's why I went with Zach Kuntz in the 3rd round. So Trenton Simpson, the linebacker, he's still available. Brian Branch, I don't think he'll drop to us, but he's a safety slash corner slot guy, hybrid. He can play the Buffalo nickel spot that they're looking for. So I think Brian Branch would be a really good pickup. If he fell to 47, I think that's a no-brainer. Darnell Washington out of Georgia, the tight end, who's huge, 6'7", just a big guy like another offensive lineman, almost like an offensive tackle out there. You see him just throw a chicken wing. He's knocking guys over, just pushing guys over. So I think he would be a really good run blocker, probably our best run blocking tight end if we draft him, between him and John Bates. And he can catch. He's good at contested catches too. Good after the catch too. So I like Darnell Washington out of Georgia. Osiris Torrance, I don't think he's going to fall to 47. Of course, they had a top 30 visit with Osiris Torrance. DeJuan Jones, the offensive tackle, still available. Sam Laporta, tight end out of Iowa. I like him a lot. He ran a 4.5 40-yard dash. I think he's good after the catch too. Tucker Kraft out of San Diego State or something like that. South Dakota State, he's a good tight end as well. Cody Mach, the tackle out of North Dakota State. I could see him being available at pick 47 as well. Edge rushers too. Isaiah Foskey, BJ Aguilari, Keon White. Linebackers, like I said, Trenton Simpson out of Clemson. I like him as a hybrid safety linebacker too. He can rush the passer, solid in coverage, sideline to sideline linebacker. Trenton Simpson, I think he could play the Buffalo nickel spot as well too, as a linebacker hybrid slash safety. So, but I'll go over the two picks that I got. We'll go over Steve Avila real quick. And this is a big reason why I think Ron Rivera is going to draft him, because if he falls to 47 over everybody, had 540 pass block snaps, 0 sacks allowed, 83.6 pass block grade, 66.6 run block grade, and 83.6 pass block grade. Now, if you look at his snaps and his versatility and the snaps that he took at center, so at center, he had 685 snaps in 2021, 371 snaps in 2020, and then 1,010 snaps at left guard in 2022. So position flex, he was a team captain, senior, checks all the boxes for Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera loves guys who are captains and seniors and position flexibility. So you can put him at left guard, you can put him at center. He's played basically almost every position on the offensive line, and he played right tackle in 2020 as well. 113 snaps at right tackle. So let's move on to Zach Kuntz. I like Zach Kuntz a lot. He was injured this year, played in 5 games. 6'7", 255 pounds. He's huge. Super athletic. Ranked 1 out of 1,104 tight ends from 1987 to 2023 in the RAS score. 4.55 40-yard dash, 40-inch vertical. Just super athletic. Just a super athlete. Definitely is a yak guy. Definitely gives a lot of run after the catch ability. Joey Porter still available too. I don't see him dropping to 47. That's the name that just popped up as well. But he had the second fastest 40 time out of all tight ends that ran the 40-yard dash this year as well. So, I mean, he's just super athletic. 73.5 overall grade, 836 yards for his career, and 7 career touchdowns as well. Had like a 60-point-something run blocking grade. So, I mean, we need a receiving tight end. We just do. We need more athletes at the tight end position. The tight end position is solid at best. Logan Thomas is as slow as a snail. He can barely move. He's not getting any younger. And then John Bates is a solid number 2, number 3. Cole Turner, I like him a lot, but we're banking on potential there. And Armani Rogers as well, we're banking on potential as well. We got a lot of hybrid guys that are transferring from different positions to the tight end position, which has worked out for Logan Thomas and worked out for other guys in the past. But I think we need more of a sure thing, a real legitimate athletic receiving type of tight end. Zach Kuntz, could you get him in the 5th round? Maybe, but I think a lot of people like him a lot. And I think Ben Stanek just said the tight end. He just said not really, because Ron Rivera really likes the tight end position. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does go tight end. But me personally, I would definitely go tight end for sure. So I'm going to look up a couple of names. Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA. I like him a lot at the running back position, but I don't see them going that high with him. Jartavius Martin, Quan Martin out of Illinois, the slot corner. I like him too. He can play safety as well. I'm a big fan of his game. He's still available. Matthew Bergeron, offensive tackle out of Syracuse. That's a guy to look out for as well. Deion Henley is a name that John Kime mentioned this morning on the Junkies radio show. Linebacker out of Washington State. He's a really good coverage linebacker. So I would like him a lot. He's like the 93 best player on the Pro Football Network big board. But I love linebackers that can cover, because we always struggle against tight ends. And he's a guy that can fly and run stride for stride with tight ends, and maybe some slot guys out there as well. So I would be a big fan of if we picked up Deion Henley out of Washington State. Kendrick Miller, the running back out of TCU too. I'm a big fan of his game. That's somebody to think about as well. Let me see who else. And that's really it that I can see us taking on day 2 or day 3. Don't see us really taking any quarterbacks on day 2 or day 3, to be honest. And that's about it. Like I said, if you guys think I forgot it, DeMarvion Overshown is somebody to think about too. I think they did have a top 30 visit with DeMarvion Overshown, linebacker out of Texas. It's very speedy, very athletic as well. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I do like the Emmanuel Forbes pick. I think it's a solid pick. I don't love it, but I like it. So, all right, you guys. Hello, Commanders. See you guys later tonight. Peace.